Well, what we notice with so many people who are involved in relationships, especially relationships that are as intense as that one was, is that without meaning to, as you have very perfectly stated, who you are intertwines so powerfully with who they are that it's hard to separate who's who. And when you are being held as the object of attention of someone, and as they are holding you as their object of attention, they are appreciating you and they are tapped into source energy in their appreciation, there is a flooding of pure positive energy all over you that is a very good feeling. In fact, for many people, the first time they really feel the gaze of source energy upon them is in that situation of being in love, where someone cares about them enough to give them a lot of attention and wants enough to feel good about them that they are pretty much, especially in the first part of the relationship, connected with source energy as they are doing their gazing. So you say, ooh, this feels good. And there is such a thirst for that for most people all of their life, because you came from that energy that felt like that and then into an environment of enough contrast that many of you sort of lost sight of that. And so when you find it again, it is so delicious that you want to maintain it, and often you struggle to maintain it through this one relationship forevermore just because you remember so much tasting it through that relationship. But what we want you to realize is that what that was, even though there was another person involved, what that was the other person's ability through your interaction to influence you in a stronger, more often way than you were accustomed to before your coming together, to your connection with source energy. And so it was that connection with source energy that really is at the basis of all of what you call being in love. Now, the two of you, as you may have already discovered on your own, if not, we're going to give it to you here, you're very long time friends. We're talking about long before this physical life experience. You are teachers to the core of your being, and what both of you so much want to come forth and teach, and of course you can't teach what you don't know, what you want to come forth and teach through the clarity of your example is your own self-empowerment, you see. And so what could be better than to have an experience like that where you are sort of coaxed into alignment with source. And it was a powerful coaxing for both of you. In other words, you got tapped in so well with one another that you lined up through this work and other to the very source energy that is you. In other words, it was all of those things, those synchronistic things that happened, led you right back into vibrational alignment. And it was that alignment that you were reaching for. And now, as you understand that that really is the primary thing that both of you were offering to each other, now you know how to find that alignment on your own, and don't beat up on yourself if it doesn't come back instantly. It will return. It is our promise to you. But now, not only will you be in a place where you can rediscover your true empowerment, but now you are in a place through the details of the nitty-gritty of the relationship that you are living and all of the adding to the amending of desires that you did, now you have an even more delicious relationship in the making. In fact, we want to say to you that there was a strikingly amazing relationship in the making for each of you before either one of you became consciously aware that you were going to end that relationship. And what we mean by that is the nitty-gritty of what you were living was causing each of you to amend your desires. I know what I don't like, this is what I do want. I know what I don't want, this is what I do want, you see. And so if you can just relax a little bit and get over the sensation of emptiness, of not being connected with this powerful, wonderful person, and instead just relax a little bit and remind yourself who you are, and using your wonderful words, reach for as many thoughts of appreciation as you can find, because that is the quickest key, and we think you're close enough to it that you could, aside from an occasional spell where you're really far from it, we do not think it would be much trouble for you to get consistently into a vibration of appreciation. And then what will happen as you do that, you'll relax back into vibrational alignment with the desires that you launched even during that relationship, and a relationship will flow into your experience, and when you meet, you will know. In other words, we know that it never feels good to someone who is feeling lonely and the missing of someone to say, don't worry, there's something else coming along. But don't worry, there's something else coming along. And it is so much more than what you had before because it is made from what you had before. Now, there are many who worry, oh, does that mean that it's just going to be another and another and another? In other words, when will I find that one that is the end all for me? And we say, well, you are never complete, but it is our expectation that you will have another experience or two as you are fine-tuning who you really are. And we want so much for all of you who are reaching for relationships to never stand in your now with the vibrational offering, which is all that you have to offer in your powerful now, and say, universe, bring to me now that which will satisfy me forever and ever and ever and ever. You must allow yourself the leeway to change. And that's why, as we begin these gatherings and we say, have you reached the place where even though that which you are seeking has not yet manifested, that you are still joyful in the anticipation of it coming, because you're not ever going to get it done. Each person with whom you interact is going to give you another piece of who you are. It's going to add to the clarity of who you are and what you want. And you are an intense being. You came with powerful purpose. You didn't say, let it be easy. You didn't say, get it all cleaned up and then I'll come forth. Look at the characteristics of your life. You're a powerful teacher, wanting to teach in every way you can the message that I didn't come forth to be a square peg pounded into a round hole. I came forth to discover who I am as this ever-changing being, you see. And so it's going to take a powerful, deliberate, creative partner to keep up with the likes of you. And when you meet, you'll know. So it is possible, and even likely, that you will have another experience or two as you are finding your sea legs again. And then there will be a meeting in the not-so-distant future, and you will recognize this partner as one with whom the two of you can evolve and change together. We will not say to you that your last relationship was not meant to be, but you can feel from your own sifting and sorting that out of it came so much more clarification about who you are. And you are stubbornly, we know this because we know you so well, not someone who wants to subvert who you are to make peace with anyone. In other words, you have to be in an environment where you are allowed, if not by the other, at least by you, to be who you are, you see. And so that's what that was all about. Bless that relationship every day and thank that other for the clarity that it has brought to you, and then stand in anticipation of that which is to come. And before you know it, the missing will subside altogether, and the anticipation of that which is coming will replace it fully.
Breakups are painful, but they don't have to leave you broken. And there are 3 steps to getting through and over a breakup. Validate, separate, and celebrate. And I'm gonna break these apart one step at a time. Number 1, validate. That's the stage that you're in right now. So when a breakup is really fresh, it is extraordinarily painful. And the reason why is because endings are very, very hard for all of us, particularly when you're ending something that's important to you, which clearly this relationship was important to you. So when I say the first step is to validate, I mean, you gotta validate the feelings that you have. It's real. And so you got to understand that you're going to need time to process the breakup. You're going to be sad and disoriented for a while. You're not going to feel like getting out of bed. So the best advice that I have for when you need to validate where you're at is I'd like you to put Sam Smith on repeat and listen to sad songs. You might want to binge watch something like Grey's Anatomy, because what ends up happening when you validate and saturate those feelings of being sad and depressed and rejected and lonely is that the more sad songs you listen to, the more you start to feel suffocated by it. You can't stand it. You'll hyper-process it and you'll want to move on into the next step. That's step 2. Step 2 is separate. So you have to delete all of their accounts. Delete them on social media, delete the text, delete the email, block them. You must do this for real, for real, for real. I don't want you tempted to look. I don't want you to even think that they might be texting you, which is why you need to block. The second thing that I want you to do in order to separate is I want you to make a list of all of the things that you haven't done in the last 7 years because you've been in this relationship. Make a list of all the things that you didn't do because, quote, your whole life was weaved into his. And that's a huge mistake that so many of us make. We basically get into a relationship, and instead of it being two individuals, one of you morphs into the other person. You may have even forgotten who you are, and that's part of the reason why you're feeling so disoriented right now. The other thing about separating is you're gonna be tempted to miss the person. You're gonna be tempted to want to reach out to the person. I need you to have a plan B. So make a list of all the friends or family members that you have in your back pocket, and whenever you're tempted to look at that person's social media account or text your ex, I want you to text one of your friends. The final thing is celebrate. You're not ready to do that yet because you're in the stage where you need to validate your feelings. You're not ready to celebrate yet because you have not actually separated from the relationship yet. Of all the things that you didn't do or couldn't do because you were in a relationship and you're ready to move on, now it's about getting into a mindset of celebrating. And by celebrating, what are we celebrating? Well, you're celebrating the fact that you have the opportunity to actually rediscover yourself. You have the opportunity to figure out what you like. You have the opportunity to meet new people. You have the opportunity to do things that you haven't done in the last 7 years. And so the number one assignment when it comes to celebrating is every single day you got to do something for yourself. It can be something as small as buying flowers or pouring yourself a glass of wine. Don't worry about the airplane going by. We're talking about celebrating you. It could be getting and treating yourself to that spin studio class. Whatever it may be, every day do something that celebrates you. And finally, just because you're in the celebration stage, I don't want you focused on replacing the person or sleeping around to validate yourself, because getting over someone doesn't mean you're supposed to get under everyone else. You know what I mean? So focus on celebrating you as the individual. And the final thing that I want to say is that yeah, breakups are hard. They're supposed to be hard. You're going to get through it. This is an acute moment of time where you feel like the waves are crashing at you. Guess what? With time, the waters are going to settle. And the other thing that's cool is that this is actually going to be an incredible addition to your life. It's an addition by subtracting somebody that wasn't working for you. So I hope that that helps. You're going to validate, then you're going to separate, then you're going to focus on celebrating.
Someone who feels really depressed, raise your hand. Give him a microphone, please.
Bob.
Bob, where are you from?
Seattle. My wife just filed for divorce yesterday.
I understand.
So.
Are you sure there's not a part of you that's not ready to go? Yay!
There might be.
I thought there might be a mixture in there. I saw it in your eyes.
That's what I came here for.
That's what you came here for. So let me just ask you this. On a 0 to 10, how depressed are you?
When I moved out and then I wasn't able to say goodnight to my kids every night, that was pretty high.
Yeah.
9, 10.
Yeah. I get it.
Only not selfish enough to take my life. Depressed.
Good for you. I can see you're not a selfish man. What's happened is your life conditions don't match your blueprint.
Right. Far from it right now.
And he feels out of control, powerless to change it. Am I right about that or no?
Right. Absolutely.
So that's where depression comes from. Depression comes when your life doesn't match your blueprint and you feel powerless to change it. Well, just do it for me first. Get depressed for me. You can't smile to use up the whole depression.
I know.
I need you to get like at that level 9 depression, okay? Because I'm not good at this and I need you as a role model to teach me. You nod when you're at 9. Go to 9.5. Now, how many saw his body change to get to 9.5? How many saw it? What did he let go of? He took in air and let it all out. How many saw that? So you let out all the air, you let out all the energy, you let out all the life force. Now stay in that place and tell me, what do you have to focus on? We've seen the physical pattern. What do you have to focus on to be depressed? Tell me what you're focusing on right now.
Separation from my kids. No power over, no control over it.
No power, no control over it. And what do you say to yourself while you're in this state to be at a depression at 9.5?
It's my fault.
What else do you say to yourself? Say it the way you say it when you're most depressed. Say it in that same tone of voice.
I really f***ed up.
Now, let me ask you a different question. Have you ever had a great orgasm?
Sure.
It was that good, huh? You ever had an experience where you felt so alive and proud that you owned yourself and you owned her and you lit her up in ways she never dreamed of? Ever have one of those experiences?
Yeah, sure.
I want you to close your eyes and remember that moment just for a second in depth. And I want you to breathe the way you were breathing then. Now, at that point, what were you focused on?
Her reaction.
That's right.
Her reaction.
Her reaction. And at the peak of that experience, what did you say? And say it the way you said it then. Were you spiritual? Like, oh God, or like, what did you say? What did you do? You're not feeling depressed right now, are you?
I'm trying. Not right now.
Are you feeling depressed right now?
No, no.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's not depressed right now, ladies and gentlemen, at all.
Exactly.
Now, I want you to remember that what that feels like in your body and just breathe it. And show me, that's it, there you go. Look at that physiology. Is he a different man there, yes or no? His entire body, look at the way he is. Even he's got his hands in his pockets like, you. Yeah. When you think about that situation, what do you focus on? To feel that 10 of power, that 9, 10 of power.
Accomplishment.
Yeah. When you feel that strength, you were able to make that woman more than happy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at the swagger now on his shoulders. Yeah, oh, yeah. Balls are back on. Shelf is closed. So right now you've shown us you can go from depressed to empowered. How fast, my friends? How fast? How fast? In order to do it, does he change his physiology? Yes or no? A little or radically? Which one? Does he change his focus? Yes or no? Does he change his language? Yes or no? What did you say at the peak of that experience? You never answered my question. You thought I forgot.
Oh, yeah. I said I'm awesome.
Yes. What did she say?
She passed out.
Is the relationship as it was, as husband and wife, is that over now?
Yes.
Yes. So what does it serve to remain sad and depressed about it? Do you love her?
Yes.
Does she love you?
I don't know.
How would you know if she loved you?
She does. I'd say she does. She cares that I'm hurting.
She cares that you're hurting.
Yeah.
So one way is if I stay in pain, I can get a little love from her.
I don't think I'm interested in that.
Not anymore, now that you got your balls back.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. 10 minutes ago I was.
Yes, I understand.
But now, no.
Yeah, I was here. I saw.
Yeah.
Right. But not anymore.
No.
Who was that little pussy boy I was talking to earlier?
The depressed.
Give him a name for me so I know who he was.
Little Bobby.
Little Bobby.
Little Bobby.
Little ballless Bobby.
Yes. Not Big Balls Bob.
Let's have a hand for Big Balls Bob, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, you're going to sit down in a few moments and your life won't have changed. Will it?
If I change the meaning, I can change the feeling and the emotion.
That's right.
So yeah, my life can change right now.
Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen.